Welcome back everyone to the channel. Today we shorted the breakdown candle. Unleash your trading instinct. We talked about this setup in our last video. So before I get into the details, let's check that out and then go over the charts today. What could happen tomorrow? Well, exactly what happened here, right? We can have that same thing where we just have a breakdown candle like we did previously when we broke just over resistance. We poked our head out. We just sold off, right? And we can sell off to about here. This is a breakup candle. This is an area definitely where we can see the price go. So today we made a quick $120. I'll go over our framework so you understand, what we do here. It's important because sometimes you don't get follow through, and you do want to take profits along the way. That's why we always take profits or sell our entire position at the 1%. I like to look at 3-4 stocks that I follow and I trade those. For Moderna specifically, I got $120 today. So let's take a look at our guidelines, okay? Because it's important. So we want stocks that have institutional participation. Definitely Moderna is a candidate for that. The deal is usually when a gap is filled. However, in my last video, I said as an exception, because we were at highs, very close to highs, and if we were going to gap up, I knew there was going to be some selling pressure there. So there was an exception. We did not buy the gap fill. We actually shorted it. But I think you could have made some money if you bought it. We'll take a look at it. The pattern, so there are breakup and breakdown candles. That's the pattern. That's another thing that we trade off of, and that's how we manage our risk, is these breakdown candles. And I'm going to give you specific examples of how to manage that risk and how we did that in this particular trade. So before we get into the charts, just remember this is not financial advice, simply for education and entertainment purposes only. Please like, subscribe, you can leave a comment below. I like interacting with you guys in the comments. I think it's a lot of fun. I make videos. We talk about stocks that we like. So it's a good time. And if you want to join me on Patreon and get a deep dive on this strategy and you want like some one-on-one attention, I can do that for you as well. Just hop on over there and I can help you out. So we have mRNA on the docket. And basically this is what we talked about, right? Yesterday is like if we gap up, we'll see some selling pressure, right? And because I was thinking we're going to do something like this again today, but we didn't. However, we still was a little bit of a follow through, just enough for my 1%. So we got in here at 453.58, and at 449 we got out. And that's our 1%. That was just enough, and then it just reversed. And I did mention if you would have bought the gap today, which would have been, it would have been tough, but let's see. Okay, let's take a look to see if you would have got the 1%. So you would have bought here at 156, and that means at 460. So if you would have bought, so either way, it would have worked for you. It's a close call, but you did have the $4, right? That's a 1%. That's what we look for, is $4 on Moderna. It's $4.40 if you want to be exact. I just do $4. I just round it off, and that's just what it is. But you could have, you would have got your 1%. That's why it's so important when you get into a trade, you do want to put a limit order in the system to have it triggered to sell your position, to take your profits for the day. That's what I do. I don't do that manually. The only thing I do manually is either getting in a trade. I just hit the buy button, right? Like right when I see the candle closes and I like that price where it's at. Sometimes it goes a little higher, sometimes it goes a little lower. It is what it is, but I just hit the button, I get filled, and then I set my $4 profit, right, limit order, and then I just waited for it to get triggered and filled. You could have shorted. So the second opportunity is if you missed the first one. And I always talk about this as well. So this is not news. And you'll hear me talking about it over and over again, is if you're conservative, right, you don't want to risk too much. Like, right, you're risking here because we would have to, when we're talking about managing risk, we would wait for a candle to close up here, right? 5-minute, 10-minute, 1 hour. So you're looking at 452. That's $10. That's a lot of risk. So if you can't stomach that, you really want to wait for a retracement halfway through the candle, and that would have been right here actually at 450, 459, and then you would have had the pullback 453. That's about $6. You would have got a little bit more if you were conservative versus being aggressive like I did. I got $4. You would have gotten 50% more. So, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You need to develop your strategy, develop what you're comfortable with, and execute at that when the parameters in that framework fits into your strategy. What did we do today for the rest of the day? We just chop shopped, right? Chop shop formation, and then it looks like we're breaking down. So this might be a fake out. We might pop up on Monday and continue higher. That's a possibility. But again, what we need to focus on is this trend, and it's getting tricky now. It's getting tricky unless like we have like another gap in crap, right? It's going to be tricky. But so let's think about what we're going to do on Monday. Let's set the strategy straight. So always this is always into in the back of our minds. If we open below this line here, if we open a candle below, that is the strategy. We wait for the close, and then just like we did here, but below here, and then we will short because it'll be a trapdoor for lower lows. I think there's going to be a lot. If we can get below this line, there's going to be some pressure here. Maybe we can get like a $10 or $12 move, right? That's option number one. Not here yet. We may get surprised. Who knows? But keep that in mind. The next option is it's been doing it. It did it several times here at the start of the trend, right? So these are good buy areas, good buy areas, good buy, good buy. These are all areas where you could have got in with managing your risk really easily. So if we do a trade, if we do end up trading fast and hard into this area in the morning from let's say 9:30 to about 11:30, around that time frame, we hit that 433, 439, depending on which day it is. Buy. That's a buy signal for me, and I will be buying it. And the way I'm going to be managing my risk is waiting for candle closes. The candles will have to close below this line, on a 5:15 1 hour basis, and that's when I'll decide to exit, and I'll do it manually because there's volatility in the market. If you set your stop in the system, you get stopped out, and then you get out of a good trade often a lot of the time. So I don't do it. If I risk more than 3%, it is what it is. So far, it's been working in my favor, and I will continue to do that until it stops. And that's why we have a self-analysis. That's in my Patreon. We do a lot of self-analysis. And one thing that, by doing that self-analysis, it paid off because normally when we just gap up like we did here, let me just zoom in a little bit for you. Normally, like we gap up like this, I don't buy, but I did buy this, and I sold. I got my 1%. I sold. Normally, this is like a no trade day for me on this on Moderna, but I got in and I profited from it, and that's the power of doing the self analysis. So you start fixing or changing your behaviors, and then you become much more profitable. Because when you lose money, then you have to make it back and more to be in profits. So it's a tough business to lose money. And the next scenario would be, so again, look, this is bullish. We held up here all day today. We could be building energy, right? And time, wasting time and building energy to move higher. So again, next target, 483. And we were closing above here. We it looks like we got rejected, but if we can, this is a scenario, we can open higher, right? We can come again hard and fast down here. I would buy this. I would buy this for sure. If we open at around, let's say 460, 455, 457, we come down $4, $5, $6. We touch this. I would buy this because most likely we'll get a bounce back up to 450. What level is this? 448, right? 448.50. We'll keep bounce back up to 455 easily. That'd be a quick 5-10 minute trade. It's possible, right? Or it could be a check mark scenario where you come down here, and then this is what we were waiting for to take off. It is absolutely possible because we're still in this bullish trend, and we're looking to test these breakdown areas here. That's a breakdown area here. That's why we have this line at 482. So we're waiting for that. those are the scenarios. Again, we can also have some choppiness here, right? We are at resistance. This might be pushing us up higher to 482, and we just need to find the proper setups, like I've explained, and how to profit from Moderna. It moves fast and hard, like we see, so you can make a lot of money every day. So hopefully you learned something. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.